Hey, this is Meridith Elliott Powell, and welcome to Thrive, Turning Uncertainty to Competitive Advantage, the show where we dive into the strategies, we set the steps, we discuss everything that you need to know to turn all of this uncertainty to your competitive advantage. And today we are going to talk about cutting edge techniques to really help you excel at the sales process. As you know, I declared February National Sales Follow-Up Month. And the reason is because we always start out so strong in January, but then we start to drop the ball because our customers don't respond, or we don't get that hit for instant gratification. So I got a really special guest on here today, and I feel a little sorry for him because I have about 1,000 questions I want to ask him. It's Steve Pacinelli, the CMO of BombBomb. Welcome to the show, Steve.
Thanks for having me, Meredith. Excited to be here.
Well, I am really looking forward to it. So tell us a little bit about you, tell the audience a little bit about BombBomb, and I'm really interested kind of how you got into this field.
Yeah, so I started using video. BombBomb is a company that allows you to send video messages to communicate with people more effectively and with clarity, asynchronous video messaging. So not like a Zoom like this, but you record a message when it's convenient for you. They receive it and play it when it's convenient for them. And I started using that style of video back in 2011. I had a national speaking tour that I was on. I worked for a company called Realtor.com or Move, if you're familiar in the real estate space. And I had a 48-city speaking tour. And every year you have to sell more during the tour. It was an edu-sales type event. And so we had bigger goals for the next year. And I'm like, I'm not going to do more than 48 cities. So how can we sell more? And we started using video messaging to connect with people after we met them live at the speaking events. And, the sales team would be in the back of the room. And that was really the history of me starting to use video to help follow up with customers more effectively, help connect with those customers that we had a connection with, but then we lost it, over a period of time. And then in 2015, BombBomb was actually a sponsor of the tour, and they came over and was like, "Come work with us." And I said, "Sure."
So you must have been really cutting edge and different if you were using video this way back in 2011.
Oh yeah, but I used it horribly. I made every mistake in the book. Like I was like, "Oh, video is awesome. People are gonna like video. I'm gonna send videos out," and they did not work. And we can walk through some of the mistakes that I made, but it wasn't a human connection. It was, back then I was just thinking of video as more of a marketing play. It was like, okay, marketing team created all these great marketing videos. I'm gonna get these videos out in front of people, and it didn't work that way. And so I learned a lot since then and made mistakes for the first couple of years. But now I'd say I got it pretty dialed in after a solid 10 years of sending video. Yeah.
Well, I love the fact that you said you made a lot of mistakes and admitted that right up front. I had Nate Woodbury on the show, and he's a guru of YouTube. And what his biggest piece of advice for people was, don't worry about starting ugly. Just go ahead and, really, really get going. And I think you have to do that kind of with video and getting out there and getting comfortable. But let's talk a little bit about, what can video accomplish? I mean, if I could unleash the power of what BombBomb could do and video can do, what does it really give me as far as trying to grow a business? I'm a salesperson.
Video won't help you accomplish anything without you. Because the video is just the mechanism, it's just a conduit, it's just a method for the delivery of the message. And like I said, back in 2011, I thought video was the end all be all. And I thought, I would just send this out in a video and people are going to continue to buy, our real estate technology products, that we were selling. And it didn't work that way. And what I found is the benefit of video, if used correctly, if used at the opportune time, it can help build trust and rapport. It can help you explain complex topics, because we live in a digital shroud, right? We get all these digital messages and we remove the messenger from the message. And that's why people get their emails ignored. That's why you don't get responses. That's why it's commonplace to only respond to 1% of the emails that you receive, because you don't know there's a human on the other end. So video can help show you that, one, if used correctly, I'm a real human and I'm reaching out to you, Meridith, and I am speaking directly to you as a human being. You're not a part of my drip campaign. You're not a part of my sales process. I am reaching out because I have something valuable to say, and I'm putting myself out there in front of you.
I love that statement, and I really don't want that to get lost on anybody watching right now. We have removed the messenger from the message, and video really gives you an opportunity to put that human connection back in there. So when COVID happened, did things just explode for you? Did it just go from 0 to 60?
Yeah, we had some good steam. When I came on, I won't go through numbers, of course, but when I came onto the team in 2015, we were still pretty small. We had 36 employees. I was the 36th employee at the time. Now we have 160 employees. So we grew a little bit, and then it was like bam, it did take off. I would say not as fast as synchronous video communication. And here's the reason why. Because it's still harder to understand. If something works for someone, it's going to be harder to get them to switch to something that requires effort and requires time to be good at. And that's the truth with video. Like, don't believe that you're just going to hop on video and it's going to be effective. That's not the truth. It's going to take time. Now, if you take something like Zoom or any type of synchronous meeting system, when COVID hit, everyone's like, oh my God, I can't meet face-to-face anymore. There was no other option and there was no other choice. It was like, well, I guess I'm going to have to do Zoom calls, right? So you were forced into doing that. Now, when COVID hit, our business, yes, it skyrocketed, but people still had a choice, right? They've been sending text-based communication, and it's been working for them relatively for the past 20 years, right? Like, video is still in theory, it's an option, even though I don't think it is. It's an option because you can send that text-based LinkedIn message, you can send that text-based email, you can send the text-based text message, and it's hard for people to get in front of the camera and record something and send it out. And so that's the biggest difference that I see between the two. But asynchronous video messaging has way, way more latitude than synchronous. And if you think about the amount of times you can be on a face-to-face meeting with someone where you need to lock down their time, you need to make sure that they're available, make sure they want to meet with you, make sure that trust and rapport is built ahead of time. All of these things that need to happen for you to get that face-to-face meeting. And then God forbid you forgot to mention something during that face-to-face meeting and you need to follow up the next week. You're probably not going to get another one. The other 99% of the time when you're not in a face-to-face meeting, video is a better opportunity in a lot of instances, as we mentioned before, if there's emotion involved, if you need to build trust or rapport, if it's a complex topic that you're trying to explain, if you're walking someone through a contract or a proposal that requires a human touch, you can use asynchronous video infinitely more than synchronous video. So
what are some of the biggest challenges that people have when they're just getting started with video? I mean, if I want to start with BombBomb, I've never done this before. Kind of where do I start, and what kind of challenges can I expect?
So where to start is to figure out when video is going to be most effective for you. Now, you can start off and you don't need a service, like BombBomb or any of the other services out there. The problem with not using a service is it doesn't make the process quick and easy. Mm-hmm. So if you don't have a quick and easy process and you don't know where to use video in your outbound or your inbound campaigns or following up with customers, it's just going to make that road more difficult, and you're probably going to give up on your video plan. Now, if you invest in a service, of course, like BombBomb, one of the things that we do that we know is so important in the video process is the training and education, because people will start sending videos out. They'll take their marketing video like I was doing back in 2011, or they'll take their text outbound email that they were using in Outreach or whatever other system that they're using and mass blasting people, and they'll just take that messaging and they'll put it in a video and they'll be like, video doesn't work.
Yeah.
Video doesn't work. Well, it's not, we can't use the old methods for a different medium and move it to the video medium. The reason why you're using video is to form a personal connection with someone. So one-to-one messages, you can send a mass video out to a bunch of people, and that's totally fine. But is that how you should be using video the majority of the time? Absolutely not. It's to create that connection. It's to communicate with more clarity. And so, one, get a system that makes it easy. Two, identify the parts in your business where relationship is important. And you were mentioning February is customer follow-up month.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. So your customers are highly important. One of the simplest things to do, one of the best places to start is with your customers. So I'm glad I'm on in February.
That's right.
Don't use a asynchronous video platform to respond to leads right off the bat before you get comfortable on camera, because they're going to feel it and it's going to come across as awkward. And again, it's not like you hop on a pair of skis and you ski a black diamond. You go down the bunny hill a couple times first, then you work your way up. It's the same thing with video. So with your customers that you already have, the people that know you and that like you, start there, send out a message and just say, hey, Meridith, we're what? A year into this thing right now. I just wanted to check in on you to see how you're doing, to see how your family's doing. A message that you don't have to memorize, you don't have to have a script, and you're just reaching out. That is the type, if you reach out and you don't end with and if you're thinking about any products, I'm here to help you.
Right.
If you just reach out and you check in on people, it will hone your video skills. It'll make you much more effective. You'll find that you'll generate business, not even talking about business, just checking in on people.
Mm-hmm. I definitely agree with that. I mean, the power of really checking in on people. And I think especially in the middle of an uncertain marketplace, just expressing the fact that you care.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. I have a great video from, it was a pharmaceutical sales rep, and she was reaching out to one of her doctors. And it was when I watched it, you could just feel her care. And she asked how the doctor was doing. And then after she, I hope your family's doing well. I really miss you. Then she offered a bit of value. And of course, I'm always here to help. If you need more guides, if you need more pamphlets, and I forget, she had a couple little things that she offered right there. She's like, just want to let you know, I'm here to help. It wasn't, I'm here to sell you. It was, how's your family doing? And how else can I help you? And she got a response back that she's forwarded to us. It was like, that was absolutely amazing. That was one of the best messages that I've received. And just reaching out with empathy.
Yeah. I love the fact, and again, I don't want this to get lost with the listeners too, is you do need to practice, because you've got to be good. You've got to be comfortable on video. I always say that sales is emotional. It just is. The words coming out of your mouth matter, but not nearly as much as how much you believe them and the energy really coming out of you. So I love this idea of starting with my existing customers. I might even start with my mother and my immediate family, just so that I can get really comfortable on that. Yeah. But when I start to feel comfortable, where and how are some of the best places to use video in cold outreach, and should you use it in cold outreach?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So last year, I like to practice gratitude each day. I've been doing it for years. Some years I use a book and I write it down in my journal. In the beginning, like the gratitude for the morning and the afternoon. But last year I decided to do something different at the beginning of the year, and I was like, you'll see how this ties into cold outbound in a second. It's like, I love podcasts. I listen to a lot of podcasts. The smartest people in the world come on these podcasts and they tell me exactly what they're doing, how they did it, and give me the most amazing information. I can listen to these all day long if I want. I was like, I should be grateful for that. And so I kind of turned my gratitude habit into a video gratitude habit from podcast guests that I listen to.
Nice.
And so I would take the one or two things that really resonated with me, and in the video, I would tell them like, hey, here's what I learned, and here's how I'm going to use it in my business. Thank you so much. And these videos were 45 seconds. Some of them were like a minute and a half if I had something else to share that I think would benefit them. But here's the point. All of these people, none of them, I haven't met any of them before, they were CEOs, VPs of sales, CMOs, founders of companies, everyone that people go after, that sales reps go after and try to sell to. And I just started tracking it in an Excel doc of all the gratitude videos I started sending out. At the end of the year, I had an 82% response rate from people that I've never met before, that I listened to their episode. And there's more that goes, and we can unpack this if you want. There's more that goes with it. But these are people that, one, I got attention from. So that's hard just to get attention and have them like look, right? Two, got them to play the video. And this is either via email or in LinkedIn. And three, got them to accept the LinkedIn invitation. And four, respond. So how did that happen? Cold outbounding, like in such a fashion, it was all about them. The entire message was about their episode. Even though it's about what I learned from them, it's still about what people love to educate. They love to tell people what they know. And when you're sincere and you really tell them what you learned, the responses that I got back were just phenomenal. Like, I had people write in all caps, like, that was amazing. And I've never received a cold outbound email response via text, where someone was like, this is amazing. Like, never happened that way. And I wasn't trying to sell them anything, of course. And sometimes when I give this class, people will say, well, wait, you didn't sell them anything. You just got them to respond. Yeah, but I started the relationship. That was step one. If I could be in a relationship where they like me, as you said, sales are emotional. Sales is a transfer of emotion. I transferred emotion to them. They transferred emotion with their response back. We started a relationship, a small one, but it's a relationship that started. If I wanted to move towards selling them a product and maybe the next couple messages, or after I follow them for a bit, it would be that much easier for me to go ahead and do so. And some of those people are our customers now.
Yeah, and not to mention the fact that I love the fact that you were using it too. In a way, it really showcased your product. It was such a subtle way to do it. But one of the reasons I'm so passionate about follow-up when it comes to sales is exactly what you're talking about. Is there should be no instant gratification in sales. Cool. Yeah. I mean, first of all, if you push me too hard, I may buy something, but more often than not, I have bought things in my life just to get rid of you. And you may have gotten the one-time sale, but you'll never get the deep and expanded sale. Right. And the problem with that is the sales call is the most expensive thing you'll ever do, because literally you're taking your time, your energy, and your resources to try to get something that you may or may not get. So you want to be aimed at the right target. You want to allow that relationship to build so that when you nail it, it's a relationship for life that continue to go deep and wide. The other thing I love about that is that you found a really creative, innovative way to get into a group of people. That's a very difficult door to crack. It's an innovative, creative way to sell in today's environment, which is really leads up to my next question is, what have you seen really since COVID kind of changing with the sales process? And as you've been out working with your customers and clients, what are some of the biggest challenges they say they've been facing in today's environment?
Yeah, I'll actually expand upon the previous question too, and that strategy, because the challenge is just getting attention. And the changes that I see are people being more human throughout the process. The pendulum has swung. We've been all the way down that path of hyper automation, of putting people into systems, having the systems automate the relationships. The last thing you should automate, by the way, relationships, and just blasting people and following up. And as an email user, we all have an incredible innate ability to scan emails and to sort and parse. And we are deletion machines. We delete and get rid of and get rid of and get rid of. And so the swing that's happening is the people that really take the time, whether it be listen to them on a podcast, or if you're outbounding and your target audience is not on a podcast. Some of your listeners might be thinking, well, that's great, Steve. How's that going to help me still? That same tactic and strategy can still be used, because if you reach out to someone and you notice that they just updated their website, They created a new guide. They created a new download. They were in the news. They were, their company just got an accolade, top 50 companies to work for. There's so many things that you can reach out about that person to start that conversation. Now, a lot of times you want to tie that into something that you're doing, something that you offer, some place that you help. But, I could send a video to, Meridith and just say, I would take my whiteboard here. Let me erase what's on here right now.
We all need whiteboards. Take that away from this.
Yeah. And so you mentioned earlier in this conversation that sales is emotional. Mm-hmm. So you probably have that in your training somewhere else, on your videos, on like some type of content or marketing material. That you created before. So I would use your words back at you. Not so sloppily, but you get the idea. And I would do something like this, and I would record a video, and I would send it to you, and I would point to it, because I have sales is emotional on a whiteboard, for those of you who can't see this right now. And then if you're using something like, BombBomb or another system, BombBomb makes it an animated preview. So, there's movement and everything, and they can see that movement. And you would say, wait a second, I said that. And then I would say, hey, Meridith, I was just watching some of your episodes. I was learning more about your company, and pretend you sell widgets. I'm just going to pretend you sell widgets, learning more about your company and what you guys do. You create such great content. And I just want to say, I learned a lot. Of course, I'm here like investigating your company, trying to prospect you, but man, I really did learn a lot from this and this. Or you just provide, you make it real, and you can put it out there that, of course, you're part of my target, list. You can say that, but if you do it in a natural and real way and just say, I really enjoyed that episode, thanks for putting that out there, or I really enjoyed that download, or congratulations, on that award. As I began researching to see if your company would be a good fit for our product, I see that you guys are really growing. And you could just do it in a more natural way rather than, here's our product. I equate it to, if you're walking down the street and you see a VP of sales from a company that you're trying to get in with, you would never, ever run up to that person with your iPhone and say, watch this marketing video that I have right here. It's awesome. Do you know what we do? We're amazing. Here's our product. You would say, oh my God, that dog is amazing. What kind of dog is that? And it's the same thing you want to do in your videos as you're cold outbounding. Start that relationship first. Ask them about, the dog, if you're in real life, or the car or whatever. Ask them about them, their business, their company, and you'll get more responses that way.
Is there any time that there's too much video? I mean, do you need to balance it? Is video just one of the mediums you ought to use?
Oh yeah. And you can certainly overuse it as well. If you are sending video for the majority of your messages, the people you send videos to are going to hate you, because video it takes up time, right? Time is a gift, and you need to make sure that when you are using video, there's mutual benefit. It's a benefit for you because you're making that connection, but there's some type of benefit in the delivery of your message. It's easier for you to convey something. You can share video, can be a screen share, so you can show them something. But if I'm going to follow up with you and we're just having a conversation and I want to pass along three steps that you need to do next, we're in the sales process and there's three things that you need to do next. Don't send that in a video, because anything that's bulleted, or tiered, they need access to that information quickly. You don't want to make them spend their time watching a video, searching for the three things that they need to do. That's what needs to be listed out for them to access later. The problem with video is it hides the information away. Mm-hmm. Like if I send you a video, you can't easily skim it. You can't go through it. The information is hidden. Now, there's times when that's okay, and there's times when that's advantageous. But if it's a list of steps, you never want that information hidden out. I don't want to give away what we're doing, but we're on a mission to humanize text and video together to find the best combination, because the disadvantages of text are the advantages of video, and the advantages of video are the disadvantages of text. Yeah. how do we blend that together? I think you'll see some really cool stuff from us here over the next 6 months that will help you do that.
Oh, I love that, because I was going to ask kind of what's next for BombBomb. It is hard to believe, but we are at the end of our show. I have two questions left that I want to ask. One, I want you to tell everybody how to find and connect with you and how to learn more about BombBomb and all the opportunities that you provide.
Yeah.
And then I'd like to hear your biggest piece of advice for our audiences as we kick off into 2021. Definitely a year that looks like it's got some challenges in front of us, but love to hear your thought about what we can do to turn all of this uncertainty to our competitive advantage.
Yeah, great. BombBomb.com is the place to go. We have a free trial there, no credit card required. So you can download it. You can start sending videos for a couple weeks. That's BOMB.com. And then you connect with me on LinkedIn. It's, I think is it Steve or Steven? Oh my God.
It's Steven. It's Steven. STEPHEN.
Thank you. Pacinelli, Pacinelli. I use different ones for different social sites. Big mistake. And so, yeah, connect with me on LinkedIn. And then biggest piece of advice that I would give is you are your most valuable asset. It's not a tool. It's not a system. You are your most valuable sales asset. If you were in front of more people more often, would you do more business? And if the answer is yes, but the environment, the coronavirus, distance, time is keeping you apart from the people that matter the most, use video. And if you get over the fear of video, a lot of people have a fear, of getting on camera. And if you start with people that like we talked about, and you get over that fear of video, you end up realizing that video isn't about you. And you start creating videos that are about the recipient and for the recipient. And it doesn't matter like if your hair is a little bit messed up on it. It doesn't matter that you have the blemish or the pimple. You sound the way that you sound. You look the way that you look. Everyone else knows how you sound and look except you, because you don't see yourself all the time unless you're on Zoom meetings all day. And so, yeah, just get in front of more people more often, because you're going to do more business.
Oh, I love that. Such good advice today, Steve. I really can't thank you enough. I would encourage you all to reach out to LinkedIn. That's what I did. He immediately responded. I heard him speak on another show and was just so impressed. Wanted to have him on here. So really encourage. I know that I am going to jump off that bridge and really start using video more in my sales process. So thank you all for listening today, and we will see you next week for another episode of Thrive. Please don't forget to go to my website, valuespeaker.com. Again, valuespeaker.com. You can take the Thrive Indicator quiz, find out where you fall on the scale of success. And plus, check that purple bar at the top, Emerge Successful, chock full of free tools and resources you can use to turn all of this uncertainty to your competitive advantage. We'll see you next week. Bye.